All right, we're going to turn now to, this is also a good deal, Kelly Ripa. She's a media powerhouse. Many of you will know her for her work on over more than 3 decades. She burst onto the scene as Haley Vaughn in All My Children. That was back in 1990. And for the past 20-plus years, she's been the Emmy Award-winning co-host of the talk show Live. There she is, with Kelly and Ryan. Now she's releasing a book. It's called Live Wire, Long-Winded Short Stories. So we talked to Kelly Ripa the other day about writing deeply personal essays for the book and everything else from motherhood to her relationship with Regis Philbin and her 26-year marriage to Mark Consuelos, who a lot of people call smoking hot Mark. She doesn't disagree. It's a memoir, but it's also based on essays that you tell in your life where we do get to hear your life story. Mm-hmm. Was this hard for you to unpack your life this way?
It was, and it would have been smarter and easier to write a memoir. But I knew that I had something to say that might be helpful, might be entertaining, might make you think, might be a little provocative in certain ways, and may also just be an example that you don't give up. You should never give up.
But I was surprised to learn, because we already mentioned the smoking hot Mark Consuelos, that you guys not only eloped, but 5 days before the elopement, there was a breakup.
Not only did he break up with me.
He accused you of cheating.
He accused me of cheating.
The nerve, Kelly.
The nerve. Yeah. I mean, I was like, in what scenario would I be the one to cheat on you? Like, hello, have you seen yourself? This is what I love about Mark. It's as if he's never passed a mirror. It's as if he doesn't know that he's smoking hot. Mm-hmm. But, you know, not only did he break up with me, he cut me off. And then we wound up sort of seeing each other for the first time, ironically, in the green room at Live with Regis and Kathy Lee for a Mother's Day special.
Yes.
And, you know, and I say in the book, if we had cell phones, if cell phones existed then, smartphones and apps, we would never be married today.
Wow.
Because you'd be on your phone.
Gayle said she loves the cover. I do too. But I love the back.
We're deep readers. We judge the cover
and the
we
back.
judge the back.
By the cover?
Yeah.
It's just very fierce photo.
It's attitude.
This bite-sized ball of fire, and it looks like a woman who has found her voice.
Oh.
Looks like a woman who does self-advocate.
Thank you.
Why is it important for you to make sure you send that message to people?
As a woman, it is hard for our voices to be heard without being made to feel like we're being a complainer or hysterical or emotional. And so we tend to put our needs and our own self-advocacy aside. We stuff it down while rallying around everyone we know, we work with, we live with. And I don't know a mother on an airplane that would put her own oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
She'd put on her kids, her husband's, making sure people in the aisle have theirs on, and then slowly just die from oxygen.
Yeah.
And that's them every day.
And the kids wouldn't even appreciate it. They're in grades.
They wouldn't know I was dead.
Kelly, the chapter that I thought was really very touching to me was Fool Me Once, Fool Me Twice, because you talked about your relationship with Regis and how the show ended and how, you know, Regis, of course, is no longer with us. It seems like you wanted to set the record straight, because back then, you were kind of vilified in terms of, you know, Regis was asked a couple times if you've been on the show. You did leave the impression that he was never invited back on the show and that there was bad blood. And you said, no, that really is not true.
No, it's not true. I mean, none of that was true. And what was so baffling to not just me, but to us as a show was that he'd been invited back. He'd been invited back to host. I had seen him on camera and off camera, and I wasn't sure why, A, I was vilified, and B, why it would be solely my responsibility to maintain what was really just a working relationship.
Right.
We did not have this close friendship that was assumed. I have still enormous respect for him, and I truly think he is still the greatest storyteller of all time. And I loved working with him. I thought it was a unique experience. I learned so much.
There was nobody like him, but a line that struck me when you said, you know, women often take the high road, that's really code for shut the bleep up, you said.
Yeah.
Which I really think is true. And the lesson you learned from that, it seems to me, is that correct the narrative? Because so often we say, look, just leave it alone.
go.
If you give more oxygen to it.
I was
then
so
just look-
desperate
Yes.
for it to stop.
To go
I didn't
away.
want to advance the news cycle by addressing it. But by not addressing it, I was vilified. And I just felt it was so truly unfair and untrue. And again, it's one of those things that I found that I was a woman being asked to answer for the behavior of someone else.
But now
great.
we sit here today, you and Mark, it's a 26-year marriage, you're empty nesters.
We are.
And how are you feeling, you two?
You know, we really have discovered we took our first vacation ever without children in 25 years.
Whoa.
Really?
And it was incredible. It was magic. And there
It's like falling in love again.
it was like falling in love again. And so if you can really get to the other side, and people who are married and who have young kids and are in it, man.
Yeah.
You're speaking to
how-
Tony.
Yeah. You are in it. Like,
We call it peak life.
no,
Peak
you
living.
are in peak life. But eventually, and I know it's shocking right now, they grow up and they leave the house. You will reconnect and fall in love all over again. And that's when you get the feelings back in
Yeah.
the pit of your stomach.
Yeah.
You get it all comes back like, wait a minute. I remember I love sitting, I'm gonna say something disgusting, sitting naked in the living room with you.
That's not
Not disgusting. I just
We've got thick blinds. We work that out.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My kids are probably watching this,
Right.
and they're like disgusted.
They're like, that couch?
They're like, oh my
That
gosh.
couch?
Yeah.
My favorite couch, Mom?
You know what I mean? Like you can sit around the
Yeah.
house as you were before
Of course, of course,
the
of
madness.
You tell great stories, but at the end, it's such a great reflection of your life and who you are. And you wrote it too. It's,
Yeah.
it's great.
I really
Congratulations.
appreciate it. Thank
Kelly Ripa, author. Thank you so much. I
Thank
know.
you.
That has a nice ring to it, though,
It
doesn't it?
does, yes,
Kelly
it
Ripa,
does.
author.
Thank you.
The name of the book is Live Wire. It's on sale wherever you like to buy your books right now.